thinking you're the most interesting person in the room, being aloof yet stubborn, conspiracy theories. It's Aquarius season, baby! We've already talked about books for Taurus season because my sun sign is Taurus. However, my moon sign is an Aquarius. So you can imagine how tired I am. Circe by Madeline Miller. This one reminds me a lot of the Star card in Tarot, which is the card that aligns with Aquarius in the major arcana. Circe is very much positioned as an outsider, okay? She's very much ostracized, you know what I'm saying? She's not like other girls. Not actually, but like a little bit. She's very rebellious in terms of refusing to embody and go along with the norms of where she's coming from, okay? Because of this, she's able to kind of rise above it all as an observer and is able to really see like the god and goddess bullshit for what it really is, okay, as well as the world of mortal humans. But another aspect of the Star card in particular that this book reminds me of is the aspect of like optimism, healing, and hope, which really reminds me of the part of the book where she is like sent off to her little island and where she really starts like developing a relationship and digging into her craft as a witch. And how that whole process of like learning to create her own happiness and living on her own terms as best as she can really informs the trajectory of a lot of the stuff and her decision making that comes later on in the story. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers is very much for the representation of it all, okay? Because Suki, who is the main character's love interest, is just a huge Aquarius. Big, queer Aquarius woman. We love it. People Change by Vivek Shreya is the most Aquarius book I've ever read. It was very much the inspiration for this video, as well as my nails. And it is written by the Aquarian queen herself, Vivek Shreya. This book is a meditation on change. You can see where we're going with this. Beginning with how change like functioned into her childhood through her growing up in Hinduism, as well as feeling very invested and attached to Madonna, and particularly the idea of reinvention, how it relates to fashion in terms of being like very gendered and classed, etc., as well as change as essentially relational and how this works in relationships, okay? It is so good. One I will be like returning to often. Like it's very small, it's like 100 pages, but it's not one I could like run through in a one sitting, okay? Not that I'm a fast reader anyway, but because although short, it is mighty, okay? It felt very like weighty. It's very intellectually hefty, okay? I hugely recommend all of her other work as well, okay? It's been said once and I'll say it again. This is a Vivek Shreya stan channel. I'm Afraid of Men is very similar in terms of the format of like a short essay published by Penguin, but more specifically, I would say the subtweet, which is a novel, which is, ooh, it's delicious. One of the main characters, Neela in particular, gives huge Aquarius energy. Angela Y. Davis, another Aquarius writer. This probably comes as no surprise, especially considering the fact that her work is so deeply rooted in revolution, transformative change, justice, freedom, but it's all specifically comes from the context of community and the deep interconnected roots that are needed in order to achieve collective liberation. I would recommend Are Prisons Obsolete and Freedom is a Constant Struggle to start off with or continue on with her work. Another nonfiction book is How We Show Up by Mia Birdsong, which, you guessed it, is about how we show up for our friends and family, often our chosen family, and is very specifically challenging the relational norms created by the American dream, particularly countering the myth that the nuclear family is sufficient enough in terms of community and connection and is the most like desired, stabled, like the best form of family essentially. This book is very like innovative in terms of documenting and thinking about new ways of being in relation to other people, what family means, what it can look like. This book is really looking at the like micro level of like interconnection, how the micro level is important to pay attention to, okay, because sometimes an Aquarius can get lost in the big picture, you know what I'm saying? With the expressed purpose of therefore tackling like larger systemic issues and how those reinforce each other, you know what I'm saying? Micro, macro, okay? Seeing the big picture through an interpersonal lens. As a little bonus for some Aquarius vibes, I would say The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. Now, a lot of this is because it is set in 1960s, 1970s New York, like witches, you know what I'm saying? So by default, there's a lot in here about like social upheaval, transformative change, a lot of like rebellion and resistance. It almost has the most like ephemeral quality of all the practical magic books that I've read so far, but like that, but then also very specifically like ground in the social context more than any of the other books. So be as weird as you need to be. Try not to alienate yourself too much from the people you love, and have a great Aquarius season. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!